Yeah, freshman year. Well, the first time I met Miss Harrelson, she showed me a planter's wart on her foot, so I thought she was pretty cool.
I really liked Miss Harrelson and Mr. Brown. I thought they were pretty cool. I really didn't have any problems with them my entire year.
Mr. Brown was a little scary but likable, and Miss Harrelson was scary and just scary.
Miss Harrelson was a little crazy. She was really fun, and Mr. Brown was loud.
Oh God, why am I here? It's hot, it's humid, and the cement is just burning my skin.
I was put into the alternate block first, so I wasn't looking too forward to it. And then Victor Collier, I think he did football, so I got put in his spot. So I learned to love it.
But when I saw the trumpet section, I thought they were stupid.
Nerve-wracking. I cried. I'm pretty sure I peed like 5 times in my pants.
I thought they were good at the time, but they were probably pretty awful. I don't know, everybody said they were good. They were probably just trying to boost my confidence.
It was scary, honestly. I remember my first performance, like before I went onto the stadium, like I was shaking. I thought I was going to fall or break a stick or something, but, you know, nothing happened.
It was a mess, kind of. Because it was like, it was windy, right? It was, and like I didn't drop it when I tossed, but I dropped it like doing something else, like very simple, kind of. And I was like, ah.
It was thunderstorming, and the woodwinds went inside, but the brass stayed outside marching because the band director said brass never go inside even if it's raining.
We all had like a little app on our phone. It was a lightsaber app, and we were all having like pretend lightsaber battles with our phones, and yeah, that was one of the best memories we had. And then we made a pyramid. I remember that too. That was fun.
Probably would be Luke Russell getting called out for playing stand tunes in December, because Miss Harrelson's reaction to that was very, very memorable.
Oh look, another white guy.
I remember Mr. G specifically, like we were practicing in the commons, and like he was like creeping with his backpack, and I was like, is that him? And then the lady, Miss Fritsch, that was teaching us at the time, she knew him, so she was like, no, that's not him. And then I was like, then why is he creeping? Turned out it was him.
Mr. Hill, well, he turned out to know a lot about music, and it didn't seem like that at first.
Yeah, I thought they were cool. One of them said this one word a lot, like a ton. I can barely remember. But you know, it's ultimately it was they were cool.
Like honestly, like when Mr. Hill walked in, I was like, why is Justin Timberlake in our band hall? But
Okay, they were very clean. I don't know how else to describe it. They were very clean in particular.
It was really nice. Like, you know, it was a huge difference from going from Miss Harrelson, K. Brown and Miss Harrelson to Mr. Hill and Mr. Wynn. It was like a huge thing.
Mr. Hill would always like pretend that the big fall was coming up every so often, and he'd scream, and everybody would get like terrified. And then he did that too on like the Spider-Man ride at Universal Studios. He'd just scream at random times just to mess with us.
I do have some memories from Disney. There was a magical mystical fountain who I kind of called out and aggravated a little bit, so everybody says, and it kind of peed on me.
I think my favorite memory from Disney is when Mr. Hill, Mr. Wynn, Lorraine, and I were in the teacups, and Mr. Wynn was screaming like the little pig from the Allstate commercials. Yeah, that's it's really funny.
Oh my God!
And my favorite memory from that was just riding the roller coasters. And also, like, aside from being at the park, was whenever Mr. Ross, he proposed to, keep on forgetting her name.
No, it was just Mr. Ross.
What's her face?
It had to be one of the first times I met Mr. G. I sat next to him in the Hulk ride, and so he looks at me and he goes, "Just to let you know, I'm a screamer." I was like, okay. And yeah, he was a screamer.
It was definitely a fun experience. It was my first time going there, and it was a great competition with 60 bands performing there as well. And being able to stay all the way up there till 11 p.m. and come back home until 4 a.m. was definitely fun.
What's BOA?
Oh, Mr. Wien.
So sad. We lost our god of clarinet that day. He was like the life of the band for that time that he was there. He was a fun director.
I remember when he told us, I started crying, and I didn't want to cry because I was right at the front of the room, so I didn't want him to see me crying because he was giving like this really nice speech and whatnot, and then like his lips started quivering like he was about to cry. I was like, no.
That was sad. Next.
Junior year sucked.
Alright, so he looks like Harry Potter. Or he did with those glasses that he had.
He looked like a mix between John Lennon and Harry Potter.
I guess you could say he was probably going to bring some magic into the organization.
The way he had so much like hair, his face was really weird. It wasn't what I expected at all.
Mr. Muse so happened to be my waiter at Papacitos, and so that's how I ended up remembering. I knew I saw his face somewhere, so yeah.
How was he as your server?
I think he like messed up the order.
He looked very, very, very strict. And like him looked like Mac Miller.
Oh yeah, Chewbacca. It reminded me of Chewbacca. But it's okay, Mr. Muse. Still looking good.
It was a really cool experience. That was probably the highlight of my musical career thus far. And I really hope the future students get to experience that because that's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, the dance was fun. I thought that it would sort of be like, no, I thought it was gonna be like really like posh, and you know it was gonna be like, you know,
classical
hi,
music.
like, yeah, like hi, how are you?
And like all the band kids were there, and so I went down there with a bunch of like my friends, and then like we were dancing, you know, and like it was a bunch of people compacted, and this guy like started like dancing on me, and I was like, who are you? And like I tried to move like through the crowd to get away from him because I felt really awkward. And I was like, oh my gosh, so I started moving and he would follow me. It took me like 10 minutes to get away from him, and I finally had to just leave the dance floor because he was like all up on me. I was like, who are you? And I was like, oh, so bad.
Did you like it?
No.
And it was like all black, and it was crazy. Like I never knew like them kids could like turn up like that.
Lots of twerking. Lots of twerking. That's all I can say.
Arkansas is great.
Yeah, that was probably the best part. The landscape is very diverse and interesting.
Arkansas.
Watching Mr. Lejeune do the wobble at Marchathon.
What?
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah,
He
did
danced
that.
with us.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Like I think Samad tried and he was like
going to Michael Haley's house early in the morning of a guard competition, not because we needed him, but because we wanted him. And him running outside without a shirt and his belt hanging off of his jeans and getting into his car and smelling like ash and despair. So of course, on the way to the guard competition, we had to find a shower for him. So we went to the Flying J truck stop and ordered him a shower, got out, and came back to the guard competition with 30 seconds to spare before Mr. Muse blew a gasket and killed us all. All to have Michael Haley spout stupid BS from his mouth.
I remember senior year being on the field and then completely forgetting all of my sets.
Don't ever go to Arkansas.
Practice region music.
But yeah, just don't give up. Just keep pushing, even if you feel like giving up at your lowest point. Just keep going.
If it weren't for Ben, I guess I wouldn't have learned much about dedication, hard work, and what that can do, and being with the team.
Well, first I want to thank everyone, when I moved here, for making me feel welcome. Cause I was oh my gosh, I'm not gonna meet it. I was really nervous. I thought I was gonna have any friends, and I was like, no one's gonna like me. That's really I really thought that.
I would like to thank Sam Nixon for helping me stay in band junior year because I was about to quit.
Joey Chen did that for me.
I'm gonna miss it, you know? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stress and it takes up so much of your time. All of your time. But there's something about doing something nonstop and putting effort into something nonstop and coming out in the end. I'm gonna miss it a lot.
Well, I'd just like to thank my parents and Mr. Hill and Mr. Muse and Mr. Wynn for pushing me to become a better musician. I love band. It's gonna be weird, not doing marching band in college. It's gonna be a lot different, but I'm gonna miss it a lot.
Leaving is pretty hard because you don't realize you think okay, anyone who thinks maybe drum corps is the next step, it's drum corps, but you don't realize what you're missing with high school. So leaving, I just have to say that you're gonna miss it, whoever, if you're younger or not, but you know high school it's a very special thing and you're definitely gonna miss it. I'd like to thank Mr. Hill, Mr. Muse, Mr. Wynn, Mr. Brown, Ms. Harrelson even, just for giving me the greatest experience I could possibly ask for and defining me as a person.
This was a very positive experience for me. It definitely helped me grow as a person, as a musician, and I'll really take a lot from this. But the biggest thing I have to say leaving is thank you, whether it's to the students, to the parents, instructors, everybody. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this the best 4 years of my life.
For me, band has been truly an experience that I love so much, and it's creating friendships that will last forever. And I know it's not the end, but it's bittersweet. Just knowing that you're ending your high school career, but I know my friendships and band is gonna last forever.
I'm gonna miss the people, definitely. We're kind of like a family and stuff. We argue with each other like brothers and sisters, and we have arguments with directors and everything. We're like a family. It's everything, families argue and stuff, you know? So it's been a pretty big part of my life, and I'm glad to call everybody here my family.